because he said, he introduced me to the saying, if it bleeds, it leads. Now think about that for a minute, Aaron. Do you get that concept? If it
Yes, if
bleeds,
it
it
bleeds,
leads.
it leads. So you have to create chaos in the form of news so people pay attention. At
Because
least
now
that's
you
the
get more
thinking.
viewers, you get more eyeballs, you
Yeah.
get more advertisers. It works for the whole process. I'll introduce you to the name Peter Diamandis. He's a remarkable individual. He wrote two New York Times bestsellers. The first one is the book called Abundance. Single word title, Abundance. And in the book, he talks about scientifically why, by the way, he's a Harvard trained MD. Harvard trained MD. Now, I've had the privilege of meeting Peter, and I can tell you from my interaction I had with him face to face, he's a bright dude.
Yes.
It just comes out. And he's also very genuine, very humble, but bright. You can kind of just, in a matter of a short period of time, you get the idea that he's got some horsepower. And I think that would be confirmed by having a Harvard MD. I don't think just anybody gets a Harvard MD, right? Right? But he talks about in the book why scientifically there's evidence why all of us should embrace an abundant mindset. The opposite of abundance is scarcity.
Right.
And scarcity really is one of those things that I've noticed will accidentally kick in for people sometimes. Not intentionally, but kind of subconsciously kick in. And so Peter talks about in the book how to catch yourself when you happen to be in that cycle of scarcity and break out of it, break out of it. But he gives scientific evidence for why, living in the 21st century, all of us should have an abundant mindset. And he backs it up with science. It's not just, don't worry, be happy, but it's backed up with science. So I chose the book for a very specific reason. And I chose the book for our clients because I felt like right now, the truth is, there's a lot of negativity in the world right now.
Right.
Would you agree with that, Naren?
Absolutely. There's a lot of negativity, a lot of, infighting, all kinds of,
There's
people.
all kinds of, and
Yeah.
Certainly all we have to do is turn on the news, either flavor.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what flavor, and it's just going to be a parade of negative news. Peter introduced a saying to me in that book, Abundance, and one of the things he suggests in the book is turn off the news, turn it off, do a news moratorium, because he said, he introduced me to the saying, if it bleeds, it leads. Now think about that for a minute, Aaron. Do you get that concept? If it bleeds,
it leads, it leads. So you have to create chaos in the form of news so people pay attention.
Because now you get more viewers, you get more eyeballs,
Yeah.
you get more advertisers. It works for the whole process.
Yeah.
So I wanted to introduce this book to our listeners because I felt like we needed an infusion of abundance instead of scarcity mindset. I'm already getting, this is coming up we have our book club actually coming up, but I'm already getting great comments from our clients saying, I'm so glad I read that book. It literally snapped me out of it, and I'm now daily intentionally working on cultivating an abundance mindset. But I wanted to bring it specifically to our listeners of the Less Insurance Dependence podcast because it applies to all of you and it applies to your journey in reducing insurance and dropping PPO plans. It applies very specifically.